Michael Chiesa had a big win over Rafael dos Anjos this weekend at UFC Fight Night 166 on ESPN Plus 24 Raleigh, Blades vs JDS in the co-main event. He calls out Colby Covington afterwards. First of all, it was a very impressive win over Rafael dos Anjos, a win that I predicted. May I just mention one more time in case the first 10 times were not enough for you guys. Chiesa gets a big win over Rafael dos Anjos by decision, okay? Calls out Colby Covington on the microphone. Was it the best of call-outs? No. Is Colby Covington yet to reply? Yes, we're still waiting for Colby Covington to have a reply to Michael Chiesa, which I assume, if he was going to fight Michael Chiesa next, would come straight away. Which makes me think that maybe the call-out from Michael Chiesa wasn't quite good enough. And the opponent of Michael Chiesa, Colby considers not quite good enough, because Michael Chiesa says it himself. Colby Covington's a nightmare matchup for him. Michael Chiesa going up against a wrestler who can throw hands. Can't take him down. He can strike. Michael Chiesa cannot strike. I'm just going to put it bluntly. Michael Chiesa has probably the worst stand-up in any of the ranked divisions. And I'm including female divisions as well. Michael Chiesa probably has the worst stand-up, looks-wise, out of every single one. But I understand that his stand-up isn't the best. Much like Brendan Schaub. But I understand that his stand-up isn't the best. Because his stand-up is only to get to his takedowns. So it doesn't have to be clean. It just has to be in your face, be confusing, and then he's in on your legs. The Colby Covington fight, I think, makes more sense than some people think. And I think it's a lot closer fight than some people think. I would think Colby Covington would beat Michael Chiesa. Okay? But then I started thinking about things. Once you're on the ground with someone, and once Colby Covington's on his back, if that ever were to happen, it's a completely different world that he's not used to. You don't practice fucking half guard, you know, as a wrestler. Like, you just don't practice those positions as much as you would do if you've been doing jiu-jitsu your whole life. Like, those just aren't normal positions to you. If you're a wrestler and you've ended up on your back like that, okay, boys, up you get, points scored, and that's it. You know, you don't practice settling in on those positions like a jiu-jitsu practitioner would. So I reckon if Michael Chiesa, and I think he knows this as well, Michael Chiesa, because he even said it himself, it's a nightmare matchup. But I think he knows he's got a good chance. If he can get Colby Covington just down for a second, surprise him with a takedown against a cage. Wrestlers never expect guys to shoot on them. Covington's probably going to expect Michael Chiesa to shoot on him. But either way, if Michael Chiesa can just use a big burst of strength, he is the bigger man against Colby Covington. If he can use that strength just to get Covington down once and settle into a jiu-jitsu position, maybe things get a bit weird. Because once you're in half guard, and then you try and scramble like a normal wrestler would, and now you're giving up your back, and now Michael Chiesa's got hooks in, and all of a sudden it's not a wrestling match anymore, it's a jiu-jitsu contest. And Michael Chiesa's jiu-jitsu is amazing. Okay, very good jiu-jitsu, underrated jiu-jitsu in the UFC is Michael Chiesa's. I feel like it's a lot more interesting fight than we once thought. I think Colby Covington would absolutely smoke him. I really do. Do I think the name value is there for Michael Chiesa? No, I don't. I don't think the name value is really on Colby Covington's radar. I mean, I've seen Cameron Haynes' video on his Instagram training with Colby Covington, asking him some questions. The only names that are popping up are Nate Diaz, Khabib, and Kamaru Usman rematch. Or Tyron Woodley if he loses to Leon Edwards. I don't think he's really considering the Michael Chiesa matchup. Because when you're Colby Covington right now, you've got to realise where his stock is at. When Colby Covington returns to the ring, everyone's going to fucking watch. Is it going to be that he bounces back and we've still got Colby Covington in the mix? Because that would be a huge deal. Or is everyone going to tune in to watch Colby Covington sink into the depths of nothingness after his jaw got broken and maybe never be the same again? There's going to be people watching for both reasons, is what I'm saying here. Colby's stock is right here. Michael Chiesa's stock is somewhere lower than my desk right now. My hand's below my desk for Michael Chiesa's stock. I'm telling you guys, okay? I maybe should have rose my hand a bit higher for Colby Covington. But either way, you get my point. Michael Chiesa's stock is not on the level of Colby Covington's. He tried calling him out. I think it's a good fight. I really do think it's a better fight than some people think. I think also if it's a 3-round fight, again, I'm going to bring this up with Michael Chiesa. If the Dos Anjos fight was a 5-rounder, Dos Anjos wins. Because Chiesa can't go 5 rounds. He can go 3. He can go 3 rounds hard. At 155 he couldn't, but at 170 he could go 3 rounds hard. But he's always just completely depleted by the time the end of the fight came out. And I think that's why the call out was so short, because Michael Chiesa was so out of breath, he could only muster so many words towards Colby Covington. I feel like in a 3-round fight, Michael Chiesa's chances are pretty good. The odds of Colby Covington coming back and using his cardio are somewhat eliminated in a 3-round fight. So if I was Colby, I'd be looking to take this fight on one condition only. Hey, Michael Chiesa, I'm taking this fight with you. We're headlining a fight night for it. Okay? And it'd be very interesting to see the response from Michael Chiesa. Okay? It would be very interesting to see the response, because I reckon he'd say no. If Colby Covington asked for a 5-rounder, he'd probably say yes, but he wouldn't be as enthusiastic about it. I reckon Chiesa wants a nice position on a main card, somewhere on a pay-per-view, for 3 rounds, where he can try and just use a big burst of size and energy to maybe secure some rounds. Even in a 3-round fight, I'd lean towards Colby. But that's where Chiesa's chances are. In that 3-round fight. 5 rounds is Covington all day. Okay? 5 rounds, in my opinion, is Covington versus... I just burped there. Versus everyone other than Usman at this point, if he doesn't break his jaw. Colby Covington wins every 5-round fight in the division. I don't think the Chiesa fight's going to happen next. Would I like to see it? I reckon it'd be pretty good. I just think that if Colby Covington was really interested and wasn't looking for bigger fish, he would have made the call out by now to Michael Chiesa. He would have responded. There's no way you call out Colby Covington and he doesn't make the most of the headlines and respond if he's not interested. Like, he must not be interested in Michael Chiesa right now. I think he's looking at the Nate Diaz fight. I think that's what he's looking for right now. I know Nate Diaz said he wants to sit out on the sidelines and see what happens in the divisions before he comes back. Covington's going to be out for a little bit as well. I'm sure he's looking for Nate Diaz. I'm sure he's looking at the loser of Tyron Woodley versus Leon Edwards, or maybe the winner, either or. If it's Woodley, it's Woodley, and that would be an amazing fight to make. And I know Colby wants that fight as well. I don't think he's focused on Michael Chiesa, but it'd be very interesting. Stand up, Covington. Pacing, Covington. Size, strength, Michael Chiesa. 3-rounders, favour Michael Chiesa. I still think Colby Covington would win. 5-rounders, Colby Covington wins all day, every day. Michael Chiesa can't even get off his stall in the 4th round. I reckon that's what would happen. Tough fights, man. There's no easy fights in these divisions anymore. However, I don't think that Chiesa beat the same Dos Anjos. To be honest with you, I don't think anyone beat the same Dos Anjos that Covington beat. I really think that's a factor. When you beat guys after someone else has beaten them, it degrades the win a little bit. I don't understand this whole thing about, oh, we beat RDA, he's amazing. Yeah, but RDA's on a losing streak, you know? Like, RDA's lost 3 out of his last 4. You know, like, we're talking old Romero stats here. Like, he's not, maybe RDA's just not quite the same. And I was kind of hoping on that coming into the Chiesa fight. You could see it on Dos Anjos' face. He doesn't have that, get off me, and like, I'm going to win this fight. He doesn't have that in him anymore. You can see it in his face. Every time he comes up against one of these wrestling matchups and he gets taken down, it's like, oh, here we go again, man. Like, you can see the frustration in him. And against Covington, he had that grit to keep getting back up and shut Covington up. But against Usman, it was kind of like, oh, this again. You know, and then against Leon Edwards, Edwards took him down. And that kind of fucking brought the morale down in RDA's corner. And then fucking Kevin Lee tried doing the same thing. RDA was able to get it done because it was a 5-round fight, and Kevin Lee can't fight for 5 rounds, especially in a new weight class with his first time being there. That's a factor. I don't see it, man. You could see it on RDA's face. I don't think he's got it. He's also very small as well. Like, I feel like I'm hyping the Chiesa win over RDA just a tad. I feel like if RDA fought if Chiesa fought the Rafael dos Anjos that was coming off a win over Robbie Lawler, I think it'd maybe be a different fight. It would be a very different fight because he was hungry. He was on his way to a title shot. Anything but losing because his title was on the line. I don't see that same RDA anymore. I think Covington beat the better version of everyone who has shared wins. The better version of Maia, the better version of fucking RDA, and even Covington's version of Maia was a Maia that was coming off a loss to Tyron Woodley, so how much credit can we... You know, you know what I'm saying here, guys. You know, I think Covington would pretty much do work on Michael Chiesa, and I think he kind of knows that he would do work on Michael Chiesa. So I think he's thinking right now, if I'm going to do work on someone, I'm going to do work on someone that's worth it name value-wise. And Michael Chiesa's call-out is just Colby Covington in July, and then walks off. Okay, tell us why. Tell us why, Colby Covington. Tell us what you think of him. Tell us what you think of his opponents. You just beat RDA. Mention that. You beat the guy that Covington beat. I'm as good as you. I think I'm as good as you. Let's fight. You know, like, fucking shit himself in the fucking Octagon interview. He could have had such a better call-out than that. Whatever, man. Jesus, I don't know why I got so angry there. But either way, I don't think the fight's going to happen. And if it does, 3-rounders, a little bit close. 5-rounder, Covington every day, all day. You know, I don't need to say anymore. 5-rounder, Covington wins this shit. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button there. Jesus Christ, it's been 11 minutes. I'm going to cry myself into oblivion. Why is this video somehow so long? I feel like I've been recording. Never mind. Goodbye.